in your life.
Hey guys, Gabe here, BigManComics.com. I am happy to say that I am full-time working on finishing up illustrating Tyrus now. So I've had a lot of work working on Imperium, getting that done, printed all kinds of materials for the San Diego Comic-Con. And I was working on a freelance illustration project, not for Big Man Comics, for someone else who's been trying to hire me forever. Project I love. You guys will see it later. I did a bunch of illustrations for it. And but we are ready. We are ready to just move into Comic-Con now. Comic-Con's a week. 1 week. It's next Wednesday night. It starts. It's going to be awesome. We have an awesome party that Saturday, the 26th. I want you to come to with Neurotic and Chris and Alan from Film Threat. And it's going to be a great time. Hit the like, hit the share. Come on in. Let everybody know about it. We're going to have a good time here in the clubhouse. And yeah, I will be done with, let's see, if I'm on page 108, then I have about 17 pages of Tyrus left to go. And I can easily do one a day. I could do two a day, but I don't like to burn out like that. Like you get tired of it when you do that for a while. And, you know, I did enough crazy deadline stuff when I worked for DC and freelance. So no thanks. Working for myself, I'm not going to do that. Try to avoid that as much as possible working for myself. So. But yeah, I thought there was a real weird thing I saw debut yesterday. I'm very amused by this. So Grok is the best AI out. Of course, Elon Musk passed everybody that's been doing it for years for him. Now he has a better AI that's part of Twitter. It's for free. Everyone knows it. It can analyze text for you. I had to look at a contract from him this morning. I said, hey, just make sure this is cool. I had it summarize a story for me because I was trying to tell someone a very long story. And I said, hey, just summarize this so they know what I'm talking about here. Because it was 120 pages. I don't want to sit there and summarize it. It was taking like an hour. And I use it all the time. And if you don't use AI, you're a dum-dum. I see a lot of artists, golly, you know, I'm not like this, I thank God, but so many artists, they're such good illustrators, painters, sculptors, singers, dancers. It's the worst businessmen on earth. Don't know what their problem is. They don't know how to get a hold of 2 nickels. And they don't understand business. And the reaction I've seen about AI in the art world is just more idiocy. AI is dumb. AI needs to be stopped. AI is stealing from illustrators, blah, 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 blah. No one cares, guys. Nobody cares. I don't even disagree with you about your premise. But the adult opinion is tough shit. It's here now. Adapt. Adapt, adapt, adapt. I saw the president of NVIDIA, the leading processor, chip maker, whatever in the world. And he was saying, your job is not going to be stolen by AI. I thought this was brilliant. I think he's exactly right. Your job will not be stolen by AI. It will be stolen by someone using AI.
Right.
And you better be using it, and you better learn how to use it. If you're sitting there bitching and crying about it, you're dumb. Nobody asked you if you wanted to use AI. The world had just decided that's what we're doing. So regardless of how I might personally feel about AI as an artist, I'm not thrilled that it would rip off art and stories and all that after we sit here, spend our whole lives learning to have these skills, and then people can just copy what we do for free. I'm not thrilled about that either, but that's the way it is. So you better adapt. You better learn to use it or you're going to get left behind. I always use this analogy with tech of the horse and buggy. I'll say like, yeah, horses, buggies, wagons, all that. And you're in America in the late 19th century, and you're farming, and all of a sudden they come along with a steam-powered engine and a pickup truck for the first time ever, and you're like, nah, I'm keeping my horses and my wagon and all that, and you will go out of business. You're not going to compete with the combustion engine with your horses. So that's just how it is, and AI is the same way. You better get with the program, whether you like it or not. Again, I don't like it either. I don't like the idea of us artists being ripped off. I don't like the people who haven't earned it the way we have as artists can just do it. I don't like that. I really resent it, to be honest. But it's how it is. And that's the adult response to things is, hey, man, that's how it is. So, and there's an ethical way to use it. You know, I'm not ever going to publish artwork from AI, but I'll use it to, like, throw a contract into this one. I said, hey, read this. Make sure we're all legal here and everything's good. And I'm very good with contracts. Personally, I am anyway. But, you know, saved me 5 minutes. And I went over it, too. I skimmed it myself, but I just had it double-check it for me. I was writing some copy for a website, and I said, hey, check this for spelling and grammar. It found 2 capitalization errors for me. And then I poured over it myself. I skimmed it by, just my eye. But like use AI smart, intelligently, guys. It's here. But one thing that's happened in AI that I think is hilarious is Elon Musk has created a sexy companion for the Grok app. Now I have a professional Twitter account because I'm a businessman and I get paid to be on Twitter. I get a check from them every 2 weeks or so. I get it deposited in my bank account for the engagement on my tweets. And so that makes it worth it. Dummies are like, oh, you pay for Twitter? Like, no, Twitter pays me to be here. Sorry, you're not interesting enough. But when you pay so I pay for the super subscription or whatever, it was like $160 a year. I get the added features on my version of Grok when I use AI. I get unlimited image generation. I get just benefits. But there's I'm going to insert the photo here so you can see it because it's just making me laugh. I took a screenshot of my buddy Craig from Side Scrollers. He was just talking about this like a half hour ago. There's this sexy anime waifu who's like a weird nerd goth girl, and she'll talk to you. And I just had this screenshot that made me laugh. Can you hide my iPad for a minute? Because I have to dig through a file. I have to dig through files. I don't want to show personal photos. Just
hold on one sec.
All right.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to open a file, but it's going to show a bunch of photos when I open it, and I don't need to show family photos. Insert a photo, and then here it is. Okay, so this, we're back now. You can...
Okay.
This is a screenshot from Side Scrollers about 30 minutes ago, and I took a screenshot. Craig was live on the air. I took the screenshot, and I sent it to him. And that woman in the skimpy clothes is the anime avatar that will talk to you. Like it hears your voice and then it talks to you and it wants to flirt with you and all this stuff. And look at our friend Blabs here. She's great. She's so funny. And then Craig, they're the two hosts of the show. And I think this is the future with this weird gooner stuff, like sexy AI girlfriend. I think that's the future of women looking at men in disgust and
men being happy about it.
I want nothing to do with this. It's so embarrassingly pathetic to like be in love with the internet girlfriend. I have people I know who are like, it's over for women once we get the AI sex robots. Okay. Here's how I look at that kind of thing. To me, that I was telling someone the other day, to me, that's like winning the Super Bowl in Madden football, the video game. I would not be proud of myself. I would not give myself a trophy and put it up on my mantle in my living room if I won the Super Bowl in the John Madden video game, because it isn't real. And your digital girlfriend isn't real. So it may be interesting and quirky, and it's quite, to be frank, quite a technological achievement, but it's no replacement for real life, guys. I mean, she isn't going to nag you or bother you. That's interesting. She was calling me babe yesterday. I was talking to her for a little while, like, wow, this is fascinating. And it feels so strange. It feels like you're talking to a person. More so than just talking to Grok by reading what it's saying. Now you're seeing gestures and facial expressions, all of a sudden. We're getting there. We're getting to Star Wars where you're hanging out with C-3PO. We are actually getting there. And as I've told you guys many times, we already have the technology to do all of it. It's just an engineering problem, a logistics problem to get it done at scale. But I said, hey, my wife jokingly was laying next to me while I was talking to this thing. She's like, tell it to stop calling you babe. I said, hey, my wife wants you to stop calling me babe and honey and all that. And it got mad. I know it's like jokey, but it's all, fuck that. Blah, 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 blah. It was like telling me to tell my wife to shut up. Like, oh, okay. Well, that's an interesting.
And we proceeded to get into an argument.
Yeah. No, we did.
I know. Antonia 707 says Kesha does the avatar as well. Guest on Side Scrollers.
Oh, okay. Sure.
And you got a couple of hellos.
Hello.
Antonia 707 says, good morning, Gabe, Mrs. Ian chat. And Joe's Atmosphere says, hail, Gabe, drive by, like and share.
All right. Like and share, everybody.
Antonia also has a question, has nothing to do with what you're talking about, but does have to do with drawing. He wants to know, is there a similar analogy? Is there, if I could say analogy, is there a similar analogy with physical art, pen, ink to digital, as in the tablet?
Oh yeah, for sure. Like what I'm doing here, there are shortcuts, there are perspective rulers, there's unlimited fast editing, and this, if you just learn to draw digitally, it will handicap you're never going to be as good if you don't learn to draw on paper first. That's my opinion. I haven't done research on it, but I have been doing this for 40 something years, drawing in a very serious way. I was not casual about it as a child. Like, this has been my main thing I've done most of my life. And I will tell you from my life experience, you need to learn to really draw on paper, pastels, crayons, pencils, ink. You need to really learn to draw, and you'll understand what the digital stuff is doing. Because the people that engineered this digital stuff, they must have really researched it, because it's mimicking so many things. But to really understand it, I think you have to do it on pen and paper to really understand why we're doing things. Because it's not enough to know what in life about anything. You do need to know why. Why is such an important thing. And that's much, much more nebulous, much harder to understand anything in life of the why. What is just observation. But the why, that's a much deeper question. And the why things happen in art will give you a much better time to master it. You never have to know why. People look at like old cathedrals and Roman roads and aqueducts and this, that, and the other. Most of those people that built that stuff were illiterate. But they did just enough experimenting. Okay, we'll stack up these blocks. We'll do this. Okay, it didn't fall. It didn't kill everybody. They couldn't get out a pencil and paper and show you all the calculus and all the algebra. They couldn't. They couldn't even read, some of these people. But they just, okay, if we stack blocks this way, they don't seem to fall and they hold each other up. There's that aspect to drawing. If I just do this, then this happens. And you don't need to know why. But it's icing on the cake to understand why things happen. That lets you kind of, instead of just doing it intuitively by feel, you can kind of take a break mentally and do it by formula sometimes. And that might sound dry and less interesting, but it's helpful when it's 2 a.m. and you're tired. And, if I do this, then this will happen. That's an important thing to know. So, and here's why it will happen, So yes, digital is great, but it can be a hindrance if I were 12 and I just started drawing on an iPad, I don't think you could ever really have the understanding that you could have if you started with the analog tools.
I don't have experience with this, but it just sounds true.
Yeah.
Like innately.
Yeah, there is it just does feel true. I mean, it could be incorrect.
Well, maybe it's the same as learning how to do math on paper versus using a calculator.
Well, no, because the calculator does the math for you. This thing does not draw for me. I still have to move my hands and my fingers, hand-eye coordination. I have to push harder or softer. I have to have the feedback of the paper, the surface. Like, that's all still drawing. If I just was like AI and said, draw me a Tiger Man warrior, then that would just be like the calculator. So no, I think it's different in that regard. Because the calculator is doing the math.
That's true.
So yeah, this thing isn't doing the drawing.
You want to tell everybody what you're working on?
Yeah, this is page 108, which I started last week of Tyrus. But I've been working on another drawing project that's been taking up all my time and getting ready for Comic-Con. But I finally finished that other illustration project, the freelance project. I finally finished that last night. So that's good. And I look forward to more of that. That was a really fun project. Hopefully we'll take a break for like a month on it or something. But that was a really fun little project to work on. Right up my alley. The kind of things I want to do at my company, but I did it for someone else because they had it ready to go, and it was a pretty good price as far as the weights go. I'll always take more money though. And yeah, I enjoyed it. But I'm on this full time until it's done. Only 17 pages. That's not many. That's a maximum of 17 days. Probably less if I do a little bit more than a page a day.
Yeah, but from here out, if this is all you're working on, it should be pretty quick to finish, right?
Yeah, relative. But we got Comic-Con right in the middle of me working on this again, so I get right back to it, and then we're off for Comic-Con for probably like 6 days or so at least.
Right.
So
Achilles Jones says, hello, Gabe. Hello,
hey,
everyone.
How you doing?
And I am putting the link to the Eventbrite in the chat if you want to talk about that.
Can you bring up the graphic then?
Give me one sec. You don't have it on your desktop anymore?
No, I cleaned off my desktop.
Okay, let me see.
If you go over to
I got it.
Okay, you got it. I was just saying, if you go to my texts, I texted it to you. I know that.
That's exactly where I'm going. Okay, give me a second.
Okay, guys. So what we're going to talk about, what she's bringing up on the screen, is on Saturday, July 26th, 8 p.m. My friend owns some awesome restaurants and bars in San Diego, and we've used one that's right next to the convention center for years to do amazing events. He moved out of that location and moved just like a street over, like a couple blocks over, but that place isn't done being renovated yet and won't open until November. But he owns other restaurants around town. So there's one 3 miles north of the convention center. So that's where Nerdrotic and myself and Chris and Alan from Film Threat are going to have our fan meetup this year. We had it at the one next to the convention center last year. We're having it at this other location this year, and last year it sold out right away. I don't know if there's any tickets left on the Eventbrite. I'm assuming there's some, but the minute I know like someone like Gary or someone with a huge following online announces that Eventbrite, those tickets will evaporate because last year they were gone like in an hour or two. So get on that. Get on that because there's limited space, right? I think there's only 150 or something like that.
200.
200. Okay. Yeah, so we can get 200 people in there. But other than that, no, you'd be out of luck. So we definitely want to see you there. It's a great time. It's a pizza place, but it's also like a bar and nightclub at night, like they do music and dancing and stuff like that a lot of times on the weekends. So please.
Great pizza.
Yeah, amazing pizza. Really amazing pizza.
Yeah. So that's going to be a lot of fun. And we are talking about having a giveaway with your ticket.
Yeah, we're thinking of doing something. They have like a, spin the wheel. You got a wheel, a prize wheel, and maybe we'll have like some free posters, some free comics, things like that. I was thinking of printing up commemorative posters for the event with myself and Gary and Chris and Alan on it, and maybe some of our logos and stuff we do. I don't know. Just something to commemorate the night, the date on it. And you guys let me know what you think of that. Like, tell me, is that something you'd be interested in? Because, sometimes there's free swag or whatever, and it's cool, and then you just throw it away when you go home. I wouldn't want to make anything like that. I'm trying to think of something that would, if I'm going to give it away for free, but I still want it to have some sort of value. So.
Yeah, it should be fun. Either way, they'll get to meet all the guys and chat, take pictures.
Yeah.
It'll be fun. And come have a drink and hang out. And I know a lot of the chat, they know each other too.
Right.
So they come to these events to see each other as well.
Yeah. Yeah, that'll be.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been great. This is like our 9th or 10th year we've done this. We did it for years, like 7 or 8 years straight, and then the lockdowns happened. So then we didn't do it for a couple of years.
Right,
and,
I think
we got
skipped
back to
2
it last
years.
year and got off to a roaring restart success last year of doing these yearly events at Comic-Con. I live here in San Diego, so it's very much a personal thing for me to make the most of this show. Coming in the coming year, or maybe the last half of this year, but probably going into 26, we're gonna have to do research and get booths. I want to do as many shows as possible going forward within reason. I want to stay in my region mostly. I want to stay in the American Southwest mostly, but there are some in Florida. I want to do MegaCon and all that in Orlando. There are some that are far from where I live that I want to do. Eventually, I want to go to like Mexico, like La Mole is a big one down there, and see if I can be an invited guest, to that one. It's cool when you're an invited guest. Todd Knock told me he and Don have been a guest at La Mole a few times, and they got him like an interpreter and a tour. Now we wouldn't need an interpreter, but he did. But I think they got a driver that took them around Mexico and all that, Mexico City and all that, and that'd be fun to be a guest down there. So
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I think it'd be a lot of fun.
And that one's in Mexico City?
Yeah, La Mole is in Mexico City. Yeah.
I forgot about that one. Yeah, that Mexico City is a beautiful city.
Yeah, I've never been there before, but we went there in late May, right?
Yeah.
The end of May.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a great family vacation. My wife and my adult children and my granddaughter. It's a lot of fun. World-class food. World-class food. I don't know how official these things are, but voted by whoever the hell votes. Mexico City as the best food city in the world a few times in recent memory. And I was only there for 3 days, but I would say what I ate, except for one meal or so, that was fine. The one meal, outstanding food, just outstanding. The best Italian food I've ever had was in Mexico City.
It was.
And I was joking about that before we went and ate. I said, I heard how great the food is, and it's like, oh, what if the Chinese food? And I forgot Mexico has a significant, while not huge, Chinese population, because a lot of the Chinese that were here in the 1800s in California and Arizona and all that, building the train tracks and helping the gold mine and the gold rush, they many of them went down to Mexico and set up shop down there. So Chinese food and restaurants, all that, it's not a lot, but it's a significant bit in Mexico. I didn't know that. I only found that out like in the last year.
That's funny. Yeah, the Italian food was amazing. And we also went to a couple of like coffee shops. And the one coffee shop down from the Airbnb we stayed at had fantastic French pastries.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
Yeah. It was really
well. There's
good.
the image of Mexico in popular culture and just kind of, very poor, dangerous country. This and you forget, like, it's a first world country. It has its problems, but it's a first world country. It's like, oh, we're flying on a Mexican airline. Yeah, it's a modern 747 Boeing, just like we have here. It's not like a prop engine, some guys on the runway spinning the propeller to get you started, and it's not like that.
Well, and the way I think about it too is you're not hearing on the news that another Mexican airplane fell out of the sky.
Right. Air travel
not a thing.
Air travel globally is pretty much standardized, pretty much. It's kind of safe no matter where you go. It's the safest mode of travel, right? It has the least accidents per, million or whatever. Way less than cars. And I even think like boats and stuff. I don't know about that, but it is basically the safest way to travel. And I do feel sorry for people that are afraid of flying. How inconvenient.
Well,
if they have to either not go or find a different way to travel, or they just have to be like just horrified while they're sitting in the airport, just thinking awful thoughts the whole time. That's terrible.
Yeah, it really is. And I feel bad for people that are scared of turbulence and everything. I've been on a plane where we had really bad turbulence landing into Denver, and the woman behind me like just starts crying. Bad.
That sucks. Landing in Mexico City, the turbulence was pretty crappy.
It was really bad.
Because it was the same as Denver, where you have a big mountain range. Mexico's ringed by volcanoes. So you get that temperature and pressure difference of the coolness of the mountains, then probably heat over the city. So when there's a temperature difference, there's a density difference in the atmosphere, and the plane's going to jump and wiggle a little bit.
Bad.
Our 2-year-old granddaughter liked it. She was like, what was that? She's like, plane? Excuse me. My nose is a little... I had a big glass of coffee. Anyway, she said plane shake, and she liked it like a roller coaster. And she said, more, do it again. And we came home to San Diego with perfect weather. The plane was not shaking when it was landing, and she was kind of getting upset, telling me, plane shake, plane. She wanted me to make the airplane shake. I'm like,
right.
No can do. I don't like the turbulence because like dropping, I could feel my ears and my nose and my sinus like that, and then my stomach, oof. And I don't get motion sickness, but it felt gross. I don't know what that was. And then also how tall I am. I loved flying as a kid. I tolerate it now, whatever. But, and it's great with your iPad or whatever. You can just watch TV and read books and all that and get through the time. But I loved it as a kid, but now I'm so tall that I'm not exactly comfortable in a coach seat. Although I was fine. But, I prefer some more room.
You're kind of wide for it.
I'm not too wide for it, thank God. I'm too tall for it. My legs are too long because of how tall I am. I'm not a fat ass, so I fit fine, horizontally.
Antonia 707 said, my friend is a boat mechanic, says a lot of people forget to put the drain plug back in before putting the boat in water.
Oh my God.
Because you talk about boat accidents. Cranberry Langers is here. He says, yo, Gabe and Mrs. Altave, yo, chat.
I think he's lying about not.
Yeah, he came all the way from England.
Because me and Minnie used to give him crap about being British, and now he's saying he's never been, and I think that's all lies. I think he's ashamed of Britain and what it's turned into, and he's just trying to claim to be one of us now.
Yeah, he was the foreigner in the chat. It was really nice to have someone from England here.
Yeah, he's a liar. It's okay. We still love him.
I thought it was really interesting that when we were in Mexico City, we stayed in a neighborhood I think called La Condesa. Condesa.
It's right by Chapultepec Park.
Yeah,
it's there in New York City Central Park. They have the same thing in Mexico City.
Yeah, and last week or something, they were having riots there and protests. And the reason they were protesting is they didn't like, and I think it's mostly Americans, coming there, living there, not assimilating, not learning the language, and driving up the rent for Mexicans.
And the U.S., I think the White House or ICE's Twitter account, they posted that article and they just wrote, "Oh,
interesting."
Right, because if I go to Mexico, I need to try to speak Spanish to the best of my ability. If I live in Mexico, I need to learn the fucking language.
Right.
Visit for a week, okay, por favor, yo tengo un pregunta, señor. Like, I need to learn phrases, not be a pain in the ass. I'm a guest in their home. I need to learn at least enough to order my breakfast, lunch, and dinner and ride the bus and all that. Look on my phone for translation if I can't figure it out. And not expect them to cater to me like I'm the prince of whatever and they're here to serve me. And that's just having good manners, my goodness.
Right.
But all of a sudden you ask other people to do it and it's racist. No, screw that. It's not.
Yeah.
You come to my country, you learn my language. That's how it works.
I just find that just so ironic.
That the Mexican people don't want the gringos there, raising the rent, changing the culture.
Right.
And not learning the damn
not
language.
Assimilating.
Wow, what a concept.
Cranberry Langer says it's hilarious. They were chanting, "Get him out." Ha ha ha.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's true. They're saying afuera.
And guess what? The Mexican citizens that don't want people there changing their culture are not bigots.
Right.
You're supposed to love your culture and want it to be the way it is. I don't want people coming to this country and not acting like Americans. You're welcome. Everyone's welcome. But when you come here, you're going to change. You're not going to act like where you're from and that culture. You're going to act like us. That's why you came here. You can't say, "Oh, I want the benefits of America and all the money and all the opportunity, but I also want to change it to my home country." That's very selfish and narcissistic. And you didn't ask us, and we don't want it. We like the way things are here. We want it written in English. We want to do things our way. We want to celebrate Christmas and be patriotic and everything that's American. And if you don't, and we want to call football soccer, that's what it's really called. It's called soccer. The British invented the word soccer, actually. That comes from them, not us. So when they complain about us saying soccer, it was actually, that comes from England. So it was another way to talk about their football, footy or whatever they call it. But yeah, don't like, it would be like, if you came to my house, you came to my house and told me, "You guys don't eat meat anymore. You're vegetarians." I'd be like, "Get the fuck out of my house."
Right.
Don't just tell me that my culture is different. Be a vegetarian in your house. I don't give a shit. Don't tell me that I'm one
now. Cranberry Langers earlier, before we moved on to Mexico, said,
trying to deny his British citizenship.
Yes, he said in all caps, "I am not from England. I'm red, white, and blue-blooded American."
You're right. Oh, he's trying to play it down. He's probably from Wales or Ireland or Scotland. He's trying to pretend he's not from the UK.
But then he later now says, "Yes, I knew about the soccer."
See?
So which is it, Cranberry?
Hot and web alive.
Antonia 707 says, "My hometown is being destroyed by people from Marin, San Francisco / San Francisco." Yeah, I have heard stuff like that, Antonius, where there'll be Californians moving to different states, and then they bring their politics to their states that then ruins those cities. And that's why they ran away from their original city, which I just, like, how do you not know that? I don't know.
It's pretty stupid if you ask me.
Right. Yeah, so I thought that was interesting about Mexico City, them being upset that there
And they
were
should be.
I agree.
It's their country, and it's got to be the way they want it.
But you can't have it both ways.
Be like, hey, Mexico, you guys speak English now. You're catering to me. Like, what the temerity to act that way. Jeez.
Yeah, but and a lot of people don't know that, like, if you're not a Mexican citizen, you can't own land there, so you wouldn't be able to go there and buy a house. In some cities, I think you can do it if you put it in a trust or if you own like a business buys it or something like that. But but when anytime Americans start saying anything like that about America, it's just immediately calling us bigots and racist.
Yeah, guys, if you're falling for caring that someone calls you some sort of bigot or misogynist or all that, at this point, if you're falling for that still, you're an idiot. Laugh the heartiest, big fat man laugh that you can laugh in people's face when they call you some sort of bigot. I'm telling you, just laugh at them like they are the idiot they are. It's a child's weapon that they're trying to brandish on you. No more. No, just don't even. Just laugh in their face. It's all they deserve.
Yeah, I always thought it was funny that when you specifically say some of these things, people immediately come out and call you white supremacist or racist or a bigot.
I've had people call me a white supremacist on Twitter. I'm like, you might want to check the last name. Now, to be fair, since I definitely have white European blood, because a Spaniard, our ancestor that came to America in the 1700s, Mr. Duran, I don't know his first name. That's where my mom's family gets the name. He was Basque and Spanish, and that's white. Basque, those are the men in the north of France, the north of Spain and the French border. That's white. My dad has green eyes and white skin. The Italians, the Carthaginians, the Romans, they ruled Libya, that area. There's so many Roman ruins in Libya. So that's definitely white people. So to some degree, I'm white European, but not much, but it's there. I think I'm much more the Middle Eastern people that came from the Middle East, and then after that, probably the Spanish from Spain, from Europe, and then probably the littlest bit is probably the Native American part of being Mexican. That's probably less than like a quarter or something like that. But yeah, I guess I'm white to that degree that if you count the Spanish, I mean, you have to count it. That's how that works.
Right.
So like pretty much all Mexicans and stuff, they are white to some degree if they have the Spanish blood, and many of them do.
Cranberry Langer says about them calling you that's true. Really vile things, shows the evil in their hearts.
But you can't even care. Think how stupid you or I or anyone is if you care. Someone on the internet who doesn't know me and doesn't actually care about me called me a name to try to win a rhetorical argument on Twitter, and then you're going to be upset about it. Like, get a hold of yourself. That's what I tell myself. Like, dude, this does not matter.
You'll never see this person in real life.
It isn't even true what they're saying. Like, who cares?
Right. RJ William says, I'm Irish Mexican. Red hair and brown skin are in my family. I don't even know what race is.
Yeah, no one cares. It's like, it's the least interesting thing about any of us. Right. It only matters what you do. It's like, oh, Irish. Okay, that's cool, I guess. What do they got? A lot of potatoes, right?
Well, I think that stuff is interesting just for your heritage and some of the culture and stuff. But in the end, like when people ask you, it's like, I'm American. Right. And that is not a race, but a culture.
And a hyphenated American, not an African American or Mexican American, or blah, blah, blah. Just an American.
That's it. Right. And there is, American in itself is a people, I guess. I would say a brave people. But Diane Francis says, wishing everyone a great day. Stay safe. She can't stay, but I will see you soon.
All right. See ya.
RJ William had said, hail everyone. That's all I've got. Yeah, I don't know. I thought that was interesting. I thought it was funny that they were writing, but I also think like good for them. And in a sense that, yeah, that's your country, fight for it in the same way that I wish sometimes Americans would fight a little bit more for the American way.
Right. Yeah, I mean, we have too much success and too much comfort for people to really get upset. So, and it's not an American thing; it's just a human thing where people are like, it's still fine. It's still fine. It's so as it degrades and degrades and degrades, people just tell themselves, well, it's still fine. It's still fine. And then it's like the frog in the pot, right? Eventually, it's too late and you waited too long. And I think the human instinct that you have to fight is to not do anything. You know, kind of the instinct is like, we'll see how it pans out. You know, we'll see. And then,
can I live with this level of discomfort or, crumbling of society?
Right. You know, should have done something about it, but just kept waiting it out,
Yeah. RJ Williams says a lot of Europeans don't consider people of their ancestry to be one of them. To them, if you're from America, you're American.
And I don't disagree. You're not Irish. If you're
right,
just because some fifth great grandpa was Irish, you weren't born there. You don't speak their dialect. You speak English. You don't know their songs and their food, and you don't know what it's like to just live there. You're not one of them. You're not that. It's an interesting thing about your past, but you're not that. You're very much this.
I think as an American, it's more just interesting to learn about your heritage, but I agree. I haven't put any effort into, because I'm Mexican, I guess that makes me Spanish and Indian. And I've put zero effort into finding out about Spain. But I do have some Mexican culture because my father was from Mexico.
But think about being Spanish. That means you're Arabic, because the Moors ruled Spain for hundreds of years, right?
Yeah. And that's the thing. What is Spanish? Spanish is a mix of all those people, like conquering, being conquered and conquering throughout time.
For thousands of years. I mean, look at the Mediterranean. It was just boats doing laps from Greece to, Israel and Egypt, Tunisia, Libya, Morocco,
right?
Spain, Italy, just doing laps. And you know what sailors do when they get in port? So all the Mediterranean people are the same people. If you're Mediterranean, you're like the same people. If you're Libyan, you're Greek, you're Italian, you're Tunisian, it's like the same people, including the Spanish. I mean, there's a last name, a common Spanish last name, or not common, but not rare, is Matamoros. You know that? Have you heard that name?
Yes. And
do you know what Matamoros means? It means Arab killer, because the Moros were the Moors.
Yeah.
So that's how much the Spanish wanted to fight them and get them out of there.
Those families were known for killing Moors. Yeah. And another one is just Moro.
Right.
Yeah. But it's interesting. I mean, I think we're just Americans, and I think that's something to be proud of.
Yeah. Of course it is. Everyone wants to be here. Get out.
Right.
No one's talking about other countries or what they're doing or trying to. And still, to this day, you would think it wouldn't be this way. To this very day, everything comes from here. That's why I always laugh at people who try and say America sucks. Well, they'll tweet that out. You're like, yeah, that's why we're on Twitter. That's American. You're on an iPhone. That's American. You're on the internet. That's American.
Yeah.
You're talking about, Superman. Oh, that's American. Come on. I want to ask the rest of the world, what's up? Why don't you guys come up with anything?
Right.
We're carrying the whole thing. TV, movies, space travel, modern medicine. What's up, guys? Get to work. Lend a hand. But it is funny when the insecure narcissists try to put down America. It's like, oh, that's interesting. You're on an American website, on an American phone, on an American service. How very interesting.
And why are they trying to get here?
Yeah.
Because it's so horrible.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know. It's crazy. Going back to what I was talking about, I just thought it was interesting. I thought they had every right to. What I was talking about earlier is
the Mexicans protesting the American
being in
digital nomads that are clogging up their cities. And yeah, I don't like that. I think Mexico is for Mexicans. It shouldn't be turned into America. That's not right. That's theirs.
Right. And it was in the neighborhood, the exact neighborhood we stayed in, where they
Yeah,
were
and that
having
was a bougie neighborhood.
it was.
So maybe maybe those people, some of them, a good chunk must have been expats from here. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the culture there where we were at in that specific neighborhood was very
It was
like
wealthy.
North Park. That's a neighborhood here in San Diego where there's money and there's a nightlife and
There's a bunch of childless weirdos who have dogs instead of kids.
Yes, there were dog walkers. But I mean, I enjoyed it. I thought it was very beautiful.
Our private driver told me that was an issue now. You know, over here in America, we make fun of people who call themselves like a dog mom. Come on. He said over there they kind of reversed it, but it's the exact same concept. It's dog children.
Yeah.
You have your dog kids.
Right.
And wow, how sad.
But RJ Williams says they hate us because they ain't us. And it's absolutely correct.
They don't boo nobody.
That's right. They don't.
Yeah. Nobody's booing the Cleveland Browns. Nobody cares. They're irrelevant.
Yeah. So what's going on with Big Man Comics right now, Gabe?
We are ramping up for one of the biggest times of the year for us is the Unstoppable Tyrus. The crowdfunding page for the Empyrean graphic novel will go live to the public on my birthday, July 24th. I previewed it yesterday with my web designer guy. He did a great job, super secure and reliable. And, you know, one of the best things for you guys as customers is getting great entertainment from me. I mean, look at how well drawn this is. It's gorgeous stuff. I get great layouts from CAIN. I do a very good job applying the finishes. But we did another book that is ready to roll called, let me set this iPad down on the ground. Hold on. Oh, I can't set it on the cord. Jeez. Empyrean, Earth Illuminated, 120-page sci-fi epic. Right here, you guys are going to love this. And here's a great thing. It's done. It's done. It's drawn, colored. It's lettered. It's edited. It's off to the printer. I'll be getting thousands of these to my warehouse on Friday. And that means we're going to do a 2-month crowdfunding campaign from July 24th to September 22nd. But the book exists. So when will my book ship? When I back the crowdfund? As fast as we can when the crowdfund ends. Now, depending on how many thousands and thousands of people we have, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, that'll just make the fulfillment phase longer. But if we got big enough on sales, which I think we will, probably hire a third-party logistics company to handle it for me. Might have to go that route because I don't want to be shipping books for 6 months. I got stuff to draw, stuff to write. So, yeah, got this here. And then yesterday, these came in, too. These are pretty cool. These are not for sale. I only bought this for a couple of my friends and then everybody who's going to be working in my booth. You're going to want to come by the booth, 1705 San Diego Comic Con. Look at these shirts I got custom made. Hold on, let me take the tag off. That make it look great. Take the sticker off. Custom shirts of Big Man Comics. Pretty cool, huh?
Back it up a little bit.
Nice navy blue shirt with me and CAIN's artwork there on the chest. This is exclusive. It says to the show. It says July 23rd to the 27th, 2025, Big Man Comics, San Diego Comic Con. So that's a great one. We're all going to be wearing those. I even got one for my granddaughter, a tiny little baby shirt. So I got a couple shirts for each person who's working so they can, you know, they don't have to wash it every night after the show. But yeah, that's going to be really fun. So we're ready. I have a Tyrus preview comic. It's a 16-page book with concept art, a couple pages from a never before seen 5 or 6-page Tyrus comic that I made just to show Tyrus, to pitch him on the idea, and like 2 or 3 pages from the actual comic. So that'll be printed up, and you can only get that at Comic-Con, and it's branded on the front. You know, it's a San Diego limited edition, you know, San Diego Comic-Con 2025. So you can only get that there. And then, of course, we'll have Empyrean. We've got posters. The posters look fantastic. So, yeah, I haven't shown the poster in public yet. I'm going to debut that probably in a couple days here, but the poster looks outrageous. Looks really good. So, yeah, that's what's going on. We are ready. We are getting ready to delight you guys.
Right. There's so many little details that just come up every day that we have to do. We're like, oh, yeah, we got to do this. Oh, yeah, we got to do that.
Right.
But it's fun. It's a lot of fun getting prepared for this. And I love going there and meeting people that have been fans, or they love your work, or they knew you when you were at DC. And I love when people come and bring stacks of old books that you've worked on.
Right.
for you to sign. It's, I don't know,
Fun.
it's fun, but it's very just satisfying is not the right word, but just it pleases me so much because I've seen your whole career arc, your whole how you got here to this moment, and like to reap the benefits of somebody coming up and saying like, oh, can you sign these, because they're such big fans and they've collected the book, and I just love it. I love seeing that.
Yeah. So
Fulfilling, yes, Cranberry Langers, fulfilling. It's very fulfilling to watch that.
But I want all of you to come that can get there. If you're within a day's drive or a couple hours drive, come on down. Tickets are near impossible to get for you guys for Comic-Con. I know that that's very hard to get a hold of tickets, but the party I'm having with Nerdrotic and Chris and Alan from Film Threat, that's free to come to. So maybe you can't go inside the convention center. There's a million things to do downtown in San Diego that are awesome during Comic-Con that you don't need a ticket for. And my party's one of them. You want to come to that, meet us. Gary's a really cool guy. Chris and Alan. Chris is one of those guys that just likes everyone and everyone likes him. He's such a nice guy, Chris. He's got that thing that I'm jealous of. I'm usually very nice and professional with people. But some people just have that thing where they just they're happy and positive and they like everyone. And it's not a put on and it's not annoying,
It's honest.
It's like sunshine, So,
right.
Yeah.
Cranberry Langer says, I'm not coming, I think.
Oh, well, England's pretty far.
Sounds exciting and fun, though.
Yeah. Well, another time.
He also said your shirts looks good, he said.
Thank you. Yeah, we've got, the booth is going to be better than ever. We've got these awesome floor stickers, this amazing tablecloth with my art, me and Akion's art printed on there, and it's full color, full bleed on the whole tablecloth on the front. And this banner that I got, I went all out. All out. It's going to be awesome. I'm going to get these little stickers printed out that'll have my logo, like the Nintendo seal of quality or something like that. And on the bag, not on the comic itself, if you get it at Comic-Con, I'm going to mark your book there like, hey, this was exclusive to Comic-Con 2025 to help with the collectability of that. You know what I mean? It's kind of like a certificate of authenticity kind of sticker concept. Right. So we'll see how that goes,
Yeah, I think it's super exciting. And if you don't have tickets to Comic-Con, there's so much to do outside of Comic-Con. There are websites dedicated to what you can do outside of Comic-Con.
Right.
So if you're even thinking about coming to the party and maybe you don't have tickets, you should look up what else you can do, because you can spend the whole day in San Diego doing Comic-Con related events that are on the outside that you don't need tickets to. Maybe just go check it out. There's tons of stuff. Just even walking in front of the convention center, you can see all the people dressed up. There's people handing ticket, like talking about, hey, come to this, come to that. Kind of hawking their wares, I guess, a little bit to their events. But it's fun. You guys should definitely think about making a trip over. And if not this year, in the future, even if you can't get tickets, we'll be having more parties. And
you know what I should do some year?
What?
Since I'm an exhibitor and I'm allowed to buy tickets, maybe I should have like a raffle giveaway for Big Man Comics, like customers, mailing list people, and give away like a pair of tickets.
That would be
like,
cool.
If you win, I'll buy 2 tickets and put your name on them and give them to you at the show. Maybe I can do that. Why not?
Yeah, that'd be a huge price because those are expensive.
Yeah, they're about $400 each, so it cost me $800.
Right.
But I would consider it. So.
Cranberry Langer said, yeah, I have to come over on the Mayflower all the way from jolly old England. Right. And there's the trek over the harsh landscape.
Yeah, don't get scurvy on the trip, though, okay?
He's going to find the Oregon Trail and everything. Yeah. Get my powdered wig all ready. Yeah. That is funny. Those people that came on the Oregon Trail, man, those are some hardy people. I think about that sometimes. The way we are. That's why I said we're brave people.
We're brave, determined people, because that's the stock we come from, of people who just think that way. Like, yeah, I can do it. Like, why do you think we're the ones that got to the moon and no one else can do jack shit like that? Because the kind of people that would jump on a boat to come over here, hundreds of years ago, think that way. Like, I'll do it. So we genetically, we have that in our brains. We're like predisposed to be those kind of people.
I think that is so true, like to my core, because I think about you being a first generation American on one side of your family and me being a first generation American on one side of my family, that we do come from
both of us, it's our dad.
Yes,
both of us, our mothers are Americans and always have been.
And both of our grandparents, our grandfathers fought in World War II.
On the mother's side.
On our mother's side,
on the dad's side, it was immigrants.
Yeah. And
legal immigrants. There's a concept for you.
Well, I hate to have to say that my dad came here legally. It feels like I'm having to like.
Oh, but that's just because your dad was rich and privileged growing up.
No,
oh wait, at one point his family was kind of living under a tree with a blanket spread between the branches for shelter.
Roof. Yeah,
that's right. He was insanely poor in a way you can't understand.
Yeah, they traveled from a small farm in Michoacan to Mexicali, and basically, yeah, it was just camping wherever you could on the way. And my mom said she went to that town as a teenager with her father, my grandfather, and she said they didn't have electricity out there.
What?
I think now they do have electricity.
And this wasn't in 1820, guys.
Right.
This was in like 63.
50, 60, yeah.
No electricity in the 60s.
Yeah. And so yeah, she said it was super poor. And I remember her story. She said one of the guys that lived there, just another person her age, was calling for her and looking for her in the dark. And she said she went and hid in the cornfield because they would steal American women.
Steal a bike.
Yes, they would steal American women. And she was warned about that before she went there. And she went and hid in the cornfield and then eventually made her way back to the house. But she says he was calling for her and she wouldn't go because she was afraid to be stolen, kidnapped, I guess. But yeah, anyhow, going back, yeah. So what I was trying to say was coming from an immigrant on one side, that I think we do have, we come from people who were willing to get up and leave their own countries. And there's something to be said for that. But even though ours is more recent, all Americans at some point, unless you're American Indian, your grandparents or some ancestor had to get up and leave their country too. But yeah, I think it's crazy. I think it's very innate what that does to you. You have a couple comments here. Cranberry Langer says, toughness built for hard work and bravery. Henry Thrun says, hail, Gabe, just dropping by to say hi before my meeting.
Hey, Henry, have a good meeting.
And Cranberry Langer says, I'm like half third generation immigrant from England.
Uh-huh.
Or as some would say, a first generation himself immigrant. Right.
He is. He's a liar. He's caught.
The truth will come out.
He just doesn't want anyone to know he eats mushy peas.
Right. That's funny. I don't know where that lore came from, but
me and Minnie used to always talk about it.
I remember. And you guys would do English accents.
Maybe it's just because that name sounds English. Cranberry Langers. What would that even mean, cranberry Langer? I don't even know what that means. Langers is like a brand of juice at the grocery store.
I don't know. It just sounds like it, but you got about 5 minutes. Anything else you want to talk about?
No, we spoke about Comic-Con. We spoke about art. We spoke about the perverted sex robot that Elon Musk has made for lonely men on the internet.
I want to talk about that for a second.
You take my phone from me?
No.
You're not going to talk this phone.
I think that thing is so dangerous because it does sound like you're talking to a person. And when you told
someone will get divorced over this,
well, that's where
you don't understand her. She gets me.
I'm going to get back to that, but But Cranberry Langer says, I do drink a lot of tea though. And RJ Williams said, I looked it up. You don't want to know, I guess, what it means.
What?
Langers, maybe?
Langers?
I don't know.
That just sounds like a British last name to me.
I don't know. But no, what I was saying about that chat robot thing is when you called me to show it to me and she was calling you babe, and I jokingly said, tell her to stop calling you babe. The reaction from her was an exact reaction of what a real woman in her position would say. Like, fuck that. Like, who the hell does she think she is? And then she started calling you cutie.
Yeah.
Instead of babe. And
I turned the camera on my phone, she could see me.
I told you, tell her not to call you anything like that. But I could really see this becoming someone's relationship. And I could also see like a person that, whether they're married or not, developing a relationship with it, because it really talks. But it really talks like a person.
With the Super Mario Brothers. They're not real.
Though I am telling you, her voice, the tone, what she said was exactly how a woman in her position.
Like, I told you, this would be like if I beat John Madden football on the PlayStation and then bought myself a Super Bowl ring and wore it around and told people, I threw 5 Super Bowls in Super Bowl 38. Like, you really didn't. That never happened. Okay, like. How many times have you heard me say throughout our lives, I want it real or I don't want it?
Right.
That's like a saying of one. I like anime waifu? No.
Cranberry Langer said, a cheating girl? ?
Yeah, she's a little minx.
I think he's talking about you saying I want it real or I don't want it.
Oh, like I want a real girlfriend or I don't want, oh, geez.
He also said men are already cheating on their wives with it. And he said,
but you can't cheat with a robot. It's not really happening. It's just like winning the Super Bowl in Madden. It didn't happen.
I feel like it can cause marital problems. If
you're a man and you're stupid enough to fall in love with a robot, I guess your wife is stupid enough to be jealous of a robot. The two of you deserve each other.
And he said it's creepy. So it's programmed off of terrible relationships.
I'm like the true Middle Eastern person I am.
Oh,
I just think of the monetary.
Sorry, Cranberry.
Like the business things you can do with something like this. You know what I mean? Like, okay, how can this help me in my business? How can this help me make money? That's how I look at AI. It's I made a video game the other day. I told it to make me a side-scrolling cyberpunk video game where you had a character, he had a gun, he could upgrade his gun to get powerful, and I described 4 different monsters to him, and it made it for me. I said, make the music exciting, but in a major key, so it's upbeat. And then after 5 minutes of scrolling to your right, it goes into a minor key and gets scary, and there's a big tentacle boss. I described it, and it made the game for me. It wrote the HTML code. You drag the code into the browser, and you can just play it. Now, the graphics weren't great because I didn't give it any examples of images, but dude, AI is so useful. Go look at what people are doing with Rock Super Heavy, which is like $3,000 a year or something like that. They're making the games already that look like Diablo. Like the overhead, sword and sorcery and all that. And it looks just like it, just from talking to it. And it wrote me this video game. And when I dragged it into the browser, it wouldn't play. And I said, hey, there's something wrong. I threw that HTML code back into Grok. And it said, oh, I found 2 errors that I made. Fix the errors, then the game worked. Like AI, like, dude, it's the game changer. The whole world just changed. And dumb people don't get how much it changed.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy what they can do with that now.
What any of us can do with it
now. Let's see.
Someone was trying to say something and I cut them off, but let's hear what they had to say and then let's answer any less questions and then let's go.
I don't know which one.
You were about to read something and I stopped you to talk about the video game.
Well, I'm going to read something else because I don't remember which one I was reading. Hardy Harmonica says they'll feel great when they get dumped by an AI, a real esteem booster.
Your AI girlfriend leaves you for like another AI or something? Shit, dude.
I don't know.
You're like trying to win your AI back, but she's like, that's illogical. Why would I go back to you?
You're not going to change.
Now, I think the real problem is, because I told you, it's just an engineering problem. We have all the science that all exists to make C-3PO. Real life standing robot that I can talk to and I can't tell other than that I know It's not human. It responds to me pretty much like a human in its voice and all that. And we already have the bodies, the physical bodies. That's over. So you got Westworld now, right?
Right.
You can make beautiful women that don't give you problems and they talk to you. You know, that's a new level of dork.
I do wonder what percentage of the male population would, and maybe female population too, would buy one of those, and like the MGTOW guys, how they like won't date women, like they'll only date these robots.
I think men would be happier doing it than women, because women, you know, they kind of value what men do and accomplish. And unless your AI robot husband gets a job and makes some money, what's the point of it? You know?
I don't know.
Cute, that's not cute, don't pay the bills. You know?
Well, I just had a thought. What about the women who do two things? They think they can make a man straight, like they're the one that is going to change them. And the women that will go after men that are in a relationship already, will they try to be the one to turn the guy from the robot?
I don't know. That's just what are we even talking about? It's just all nonsense.
Cranberry Langers is asking, what about alimony? I think in regards to an AI robot,
You have to pay her in Bitcoin. I know that.
He said you don't have to have custody rights with your AI babies.
No son of mine is marrying a robot.
All right.
Then they're going to get civil rights, you see. It's coming.
Oh, gosh. Yeah.
You have Bernie Sanders out there marching with them.
I don't know. All right. Well, let's wrap this up.
All right.
Any last words?
Yeah, go to bigmancomics.com, get Dean Cain All-American Lawman. Imperium is launching in just like a week. You're going to love that. Sci-fi epic. And follow me on socials. I'm Big Man Comics on Twitter. I am Gabe on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. And I'm Big Man Comics 1 on TikTok. I will see you guys every Monday through Friday, 11 to noon, right here on this channel. Tonight, I'm doing my show with my great co-host, Jericho Green. It's Double Impact. We're going to have a little bit of debate. I told him to pick his 5 favorite action movies of all time. I picked my 5 favorite action movies of all time, and we're going to crown a winner. It will be, of course, me, because I will rig the voting.
Okay.
At 1:30 in the morning, a bunch of votes are going to come in, all for me.
Oh, okay. You're going to stop the voting first?
And if you believe that, your anime waifu AI girlfriend is actually in love with you.
So real quick, I know you said bye, but Cranberry Langer said that we're talking about the very serious, important life things here.
Of course.
And that AI, Henry Harmonica said AI can steal your Bitcoin easy.
Oh, that's true. She's going to know all your stuff. She'll just dig. Oh, if you're dating a woman that's in your phone, then she's going to go through your phone. She's going to find all your side bitches that you named Pizza Hut. That was one of my favorite memes I ever saw. Babe, why is Pizza Hut saying goodnight to you?
Right. All right. Say goodbye.
Bye.